Today, we're going to tell you a story, not about a person, but about a single, incredible plant. We're going to trace its biography, a journey that stretches back 6,000 years, from ancient sacred texts all the way into the wellness supplements you see today. Let's dive into the amazing history of ashwagandha.
So first things first, where does that name even come from? Well, ashwagandha comes straight from Sanskrit. You've got ashwa, which means horse, and gandha, which means smell. And yeah, it's pretty literal. The root of the plant has this really distinct, earthy smell. It's a name that tells you something right away. But as you're about to see, it's also got a much deeper meaning.
And here's where it gets really cool. That name isn't just about the smell. It's about a promise. This traditional saying tells you everything you need to know. The belief was that if you took this root, you could actually gain the power and the stamina of a horse. It's that blend of the literal and the symbolic that makes this plant's history so rich.
Now check this out, because here's a fascinating twist. While the Sanskrit name is all about strength and vigor, its official botanical name, Withania somnifera, tells a completely different story. Somnifera is actually Latin for sleep-inducing. So right from the get-go, in its very names, you have this incredible duality, a plant famous for both giving you energy and helping you rest. So where does this story even begin? Well, for that, we have to go way back. We're talking ancient India, into the world of Ayurveda. This is the traditional system of medicine where ashwagandha wasn't just another plant. It was an absolute jewel. I mean, seriously, let that number sink in for a second. 6,000 years. To put that into perspective, this plant was already being used as medicine when the Great Pyramids in Egypt were still thousands of years from being built. This is not some new health fad. This is a tradition with history so deep it's almost hard to wrap your head around. And look, this isn't just some campfire story passed down through generations. Ashwagandha's use is carefully, meticulously documented in the foundational texts of Ayurveda itself, books like the Charaka Samhita and the Sushruta Samhita. These are the ancient pillars of Ayurvedic medicine, and they talk about this plant's qualities in incredible detail. Now, inside these ancient texts, ashwagandha gets a very special title. It's called a rasayana. So what on earth is a rasayana? Well, it's not just a simple fix for a single problem. Think of it more like the MVP of herbs. It's a rejuvenator, a tonic, meant to promote longevity, youthfulness, and even happiness. And that's the key. Ashwagandha wasn't just a rasayana. It was one of the most celebrated and important ones in the entire system.
But a plant this special? No way was it going to stay in one place. Its story was destined to go global, finding its way into all sorts of different cultures and healing traditions over thousands of years.
Okay, this timeline is just wild. After millennia of use in India, we start seeing mentions of it with Alexander the Great's army. Apparently, they used a wine made from it to boost their energy. Then you've got legends connecting it to the Greek god Apollo. Fast forward 1,000 years or so, and Arab traders are bringing it into Europe, and finally, by the 19th century, it makes its way to the United States. What a journey. And here's the kicker. As it traveled the world, all these different cultures independently recognized its value. In Unani medicine, it was used as a strengthening agent. In parts of Africa, the Maasai people had totally unique uses for it. We even see it pop up in ancient Egyptian medical papyri and in Persian medicine. This proves it wasn't just one culture's treasure. Its benefits were seen as truly universal. But hold on. It wasn't like you just, plucked it from the ground and chewed on it. The ancient practitioners developed this whole sophisticated art and science around how to prepare it. They knew that the preparation was just as important as the plant itself. And this is a really crucial piece of wisdom, so lean in for a sec. It wasn't just about getting the herb into your body. What you mixed it with, this thing called an anupana, or a vehicle, was believed to completely change its effects, even directing its energy to specific parts of the body. You could call it a form of ancient biohacking, really. And the process itself was just full of intention. You'd harvest the roots only from mature plants. Then you'd dry them in the shade, never in direct sunlight, to protect all those vital properties. After that, they were gently ground into a fine powder called churna. And that final critical step was mixing that powder with the right vehicle, like milk or honey or ghee, to guide its healing action exactly where it needed to go. And check this out. This wasn't a one-size-fits-all deal. You had the simple powder, or churna. Then there was grita, which is a medicated clarified butter. And they even made arishta, which was basically a fermented herbal wine. Each one of these was like its own unique technology, designed for a different purpose. It just shows how deep their understanding of this stuff really was. All right, so we've journeyed through thousands of years, which brings us right back to today. This is the final chapter of our story. How does this ancient legacy, this ancient wisdom, still resonate so powerfully in our modern world? Why does a 6,000-year-old herb suddenly feel more relevant than ever? This slide, this is everything. Back then, they called it a rasayana, a powerful tonic for vitality and a long life. Today, we call it an adaptogen, a supplement that helps our bodies adapt to stress and find balance. The words have changed, sure, but the core idea, the whole reason people turn to this plant, it has stayed exactly the same for thousands of years. It's truly incredible. So, what's the takeaway from this incredible biography? Ashwagandha's journey from being this sacred herb whispered about in ancient texts to being a staple on shelves all over the world, well, it just proves its timeless appeal. It's the story of a plant whose wisdom has crossed time, continents, and cultures, all because it speaks to a basic human need for strength and balance. And that really leaves us with one big question, doesn't it? We are just the latest chapter in this plant's incredibly long life story. After 6,000 years, the story is still being written. So, the question is, what part are we going to play in its next chapter?